Hey, what's up guys? It's Toxic here, and today I'm going to be talking about the biggest risk behind trading on Roblox, okay? Now, I know a lot of people who really don't trade might think the biggest risk when it comes to trading on Roblox is the fact that you could potentially lose your Robux, right? Like, let's say you worked your way up for a whole month, right? You made your way to 150k, for example. And then you make one bad trade and you could potentially lose, like, for example, let's say you lost 25,000 of that 150k. And that would be the biggest risk, to lose a large chunk of your money in a trade. Well, what if I told you that this is not at all the biggest risk when it comes to trading? And neither is getting your account compromised or any of that. That's also not the biggest risk when it comes to trading. Even though that is a risk, that's not the biggest risk. Because there's actually a bigger risk when it comes to trading that could potentially cost you your Roblox account, whether or not you even intend to do it, which is why it's such a big risk. And of course, I'm talking about stolen limiteds on Roblox, otherwise referred to as poison for some people. And basically, these items are stolen items that you may or may not be aware of. Like, for example, let's say somebody gets compromised and they lose their Roblox item. You don't know anything about it and you trade for it. Your account is at risk of getting deleted because of that trade. Even if you had no idea and it was a random trade you got. You had no idea that this person had a stolen copy of an item. You didn't even know that this person was compromised. But as it turns out, that item was actually stolen, and you could be facing a termination as a result of it. Let me just give you guys a decent example here, right? I'm going to give you two different examples because there's two different types of limiteds on Roblox, actually. We have the limited U, which is a serialized item, and a normal limited, okay? Now, since, LMAD got deleted and the entire forums in general, there hasn't been a way to communicate when someone's gotten their account stolen, and this makes it harder to follow, but you could still follow, like, stolen serials of limiteds. Like, for example, Sky Blue Sparkle Time Fedora has a limited use system, so you can see, for example, Bereza has number 79. If he loses his number 79, everybody's going to avoid the number 79 Sky Blue Sparkle Time until this gets resolved, because otherwise you're at a potential risk of losing your account. Because if you guys don't know, if you trade for stolen items on Roblox, whether or not you know it, you could potentially lose your account. They would just delete your account for it. And it's pretty strange that Roblox does that, okay? But let me give you another example, which makes it even harder, honestly. We have the non-serialized limiteds, just the normal limiteds here. For example, a Dominus Rex. You could see all of them say serial N/A, meaning there's no serial for these. There's no way on the surface to track these. The only way you can track these is if you have the hidden, the hidden little ID for each item. It's available on Rollemans, I believe, and even then, I think it gets updated like once every hour or two, I heard. So even then, this could, like, an item like this could get passed around like once or twice before it even gets updated and it becomes obvious that, hey, this is the stolen copy. And that's one of the biggest risks when it comes to trading on Roblox. The fact that you could potentially lose your account for something you didn't even know you partook in, which is obviously, moving stolen limiteds and all that, right? But it gets even worse, right? Because sometimes Roblox would take the item back. I've heard of this happen a few times. I don't know if they still do this because, without the forums, you can't get examples like this anymore. But I remember seeing numerous times both on forums, I used to be in some trading discords, and I've heard of this happening, where Roblox would actually take the item back, give you no compensation for that item, and you get to keep your account. For some people who have a ton of money and it's just like, a small dent in their, Robux, it's not a big deal to them. Like, for example, let's say somebody has 15 million value, they get a stolen Dominus Rex, it gets taken away from them, and that's that. And Roblox doesn't give them a ban or anything. See, that would be fine for that user. They might have lost a million or whatever, but they still have 14 million to work with. But when you compare that to somebody who maybe, put all their items into this Dominus Rex, without knowing that it was stolen, and then they lose this Dominus Rex, all the items they put into this Dominus Rex, and they're left with nothing. I feel for some people, they would prefer their account to be deleted with the stolen item, even if they didn't mean to get a stolen item. I feel like that would probably be the preferable action, to get your account deleted with the item. That way it's like, hey, I had this item, but now you just lost everything, and you did nothing to lose it. You didn't do it on purpose, and they just did it to you, you know what I mean? And it's really the same thing with I don't know how often this happens anymore, but I remember it happened a few times back in like 2017. That's why I'm using that as an example. But it could not be something they do anymore, so just keep that in mind. But I have heard of people to this day losing their accounts over stolen items that they unknowingly traded for. Because again, even though some of them are, serialized, it takes a while for the owner of an account to say, "Oh, my item was stolen." For example, let's say you're on vacation, you don't want, or maybe you're just doing something, you don't check your account until a few hours later, and then you realize, wait a minute, where's my sky blue sparkle time fedora? And then you tell people, hey, wait a minute, my number, let me find one that's deleted so I don't cause some hysteria. My number 1 sky blue sparkle time fedora was stolen, right? And then they email info@roblox.com, where they say, hey, my sky blue sparkle time was stolen from my account, or I got scammed out of my sky blue sparkle time fedora, please help me get my item back. And then what happens is Roblox gives them a one-time rollback. What this is Roblox basically offers this system where if your account is stolen, or you get an item scammed from your account, you get a one-time rollback where you get the item back, and that's that. You get your item back. That's all the people really care about when it comes to that, right? But the people who have the item that's stolen actually are at risk of losing their accounts entirely. And it's something that's enforced even to this day. Now, I have seen sometimes when someone has a stolen item, they get a 7-day ban instead. And Roblox basically investigates, or quote-unquote investigates, because I don't know what they do behind those 7-day bans. But sometimes people just get terminated anyway. Sometimes, people email and appeal that investigation, kind of giving them, hey, I didn't know at the time that this item was stolen. I got this trade randomly inbound. And sometimes Roblox will say, okay, you're off the hook. And I believe they give the items back that they had before the trade. I don't know, because I don't know many people who have actually gotten past the whole investigation thing. Because typically what happens is your account's just terminated, just on the spot for having a stolen copy. And this is the #1 danger when it comes down to trading, especially with bigger items. When you're in the smaller range, like you have a bunch of legit fedoras, for example, you're pretty much safe. There we go. But like, for example, perfectly legitimate business hat, if you have a bunch of these and you trade for a bunch of these, it's close to none, the chances of you getting terminated for having a poisoned one of these, compared to very, very high if you have a very, very expensive item that you trade for that was stolen. But yeah, that's why trading on Roblox is very, very risky, because you could potentially lose your account because you traded for an item that you didn't know was stolen, and that's it. You just can't do anything about it. But I feel like not many people outside of the trading community know of the biggest risk when it comes to trading, and I kind of wanted to just make a video talking about it. Just let me know down in the comments. Did you guys learn something from this video? Maybe I can make more of these if you guys are interested enough. I don't know. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time, and goodbye.